What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be a very interesting one because it seems that this game that I'm playing right in front of you guys, XDefiant, is indeed scaring Infinity Ward just a little bit. We have been complaining about things time and time again with Modern Warfare 2, and not a single thing has basically been addressed. We continuously get ignored. They put in minor tweaks and changes without actually taking physical feedback from their audience. They just say, oh, look, they're complaining about this. Let's just tweak it our own way. They've been doing this nonstop. And finally, a development team comes out. They listen to us. They implement our feedback into their game. And then people actually like it. Once again, another, Pikachu face. Wow, who could have ever imagined listening to your community, taking their feedback, implementing it would lead to a happy community? But it seems finally Infinity Ward is a tad bit worried now. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into this topic, I do want to mention, as always, we are on the grind to 50,000 subscribers, and of course, we are actually flying past 41,000 subscribers right now. I mean, it's just nonstop. You guys are just showing a ridiculous amount of support right now on this channel. So, of course, if you do enjoy what you see here today, if you enjoy FPS content and you like hearing about other stuff, Call of Duty, Battlefield, XDefiant, anything out there, then by all means, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified on all of my recent uploads, the bell notification button is available for you as well. And last but not least, if you do want to catch any of my live streams as well, you want to chat it up with me live and in action, we are streaming over on Kick today, starting at 11 to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm sorry about that. You can actually find the link to my Kick channel down in the description of this video as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Call of Duty community has been complaining about a lot of stuff, and to be honest with you, XDefiant pretty much resolved almost all of it. I mean, red dots on the minimap, map voting, no skill-based matchmaking, I mean, the list goes on, and of course, we'll discuss these things a little bit more into detail later on this channel because there are some fine-tuned details I want to discuss, but at the end of the day, they have been just going above and beyond to make sure their community is happy. But one core feature that they really went all in with is the movement. The movement in XDefiant is just absolutely, perfect in my opinion. You can play any way that you want to play. If you want to absolutely sweat it out and you want to learn movement mechanics, you could go ahead and do so. If you want to play casually and not have to learn how to, sweat it out with movement mechanics, you can go ahead and do so. If you just want to strictly rely on your aim, you can go ahead and do so. You can play the game in any way that you want, but it doesn't hold anybody back. And that's the problem that we have nowadays in these current Call of Duty titles, is that they hold back specific playstyles. It's not like it was back in the day, where like Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2, you could put on perks to allow you to move faster, to engage faster. No. Nowadays, you are literally forced into one specific playstyle. You either play extraordinarily slow and you hold the angles that Infinity Ward wants you to hold, or you suffer the consequences. It's as simple as that. And that pisses people off. Not because they want the game to be an absolute sweat lord, paradise, but they just want the freedom of choice. That's it, the freedom of choice. And everybody always says, oh, movement, Every time someone thinks of movement in an FPS game, they think of those guys that are flicking their mouses around at max speeds, like snapping their wrists and stuff like that. Unreasonably, not like it's an actual flick, but like literally doing 360s, 1080s, 24/7, maxing out their sensitivity on their controllers and just flying around in circles. That's what everybody thinks of, but that's not skilled movement, I've seen people with very skilled movement. Movement is a skill gap, but that stuff, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. That stuff it's nothing. It's nothing to stress over. And I think that's why people are defending Modern Warfare 2's movement right now, the slow-paced movement, because honestly, I like that they took away, slide canceling this stuff. I like that they have dolphin diving in it. I like that I can drop shot. I like that I can still have my B-hop. I like all the things that I can do in it, but overall, it's slow. Strafing sucks. Sprint to fire speeds suck, Everything in the game literally sucks. It holds you back compared to back in the day where you could put on stocks, you can put on a perk like Stalker, you could put on Marathon or Lightweight to help you run faster. There's endless ways that you can play the game and have fun movement. And again, like I said, anybody who doesn't like the movement stuff, don't worry. Like I said, don't stress over the people who are over-exaggerating the movement. Again, that's not skill. At the end of the day, you can still fight back, but freedom of choice should still be a thing in these games. Anybody should be able to play any way that they want. And like I said, after XDefiant has done this and has incorporated all these things into the game, it finally seems that Infinity Ward might be a tad bit worried about losing all these players to another arena shooter because, let's be honest, they don't have any other competition. The only other arena, arcade-style shooters that come out are indie games. There's not been one AAA published game that has actually gunned for Call of Duty's throne ever. I'm going to make a video about that another time as well, but it's the truth. So, realistically, this is the best competition COD has ever had, and it's going outstanding right now. they probably feel the burn. They probably feel the burn. And as you can see right here, Call of Duty has been sending out surveys asking players for their thoughts on the movement in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. They asked for feedback on the speeds of the following mechanics/features: sliding speed, transition time, mantling, climbing, sprint to fire, strafing, shooting while jumping, after jumping, aka bunny hopping, stance transition, walk and sprint, tactical sprint, crouched movement, swimming, aim down sight ADS, prone movement, and dolphin diving. Basically, the entire game. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they have put out a full survey allowing people to go ahead and give their feedback about what they want changed. And honestly, a lot of people are going to say, what is this going to do? But realistically, they do listen to some surveys, like back in the day for Warzone, when they asked about the time to kill. They listened to that survey when the community, spoke about that stuff. Again, I never played too much Warzone, so I wasn't a part of that, but they did listen to stuff. So when they're asking for our feedback like this is the real deal. This isn't a joke. They're not just putting this out there. No, this is like, they're seriously wanting feedback now. And this is exactly what we want as a community. We want them to listen to us. We want them to fix the game according to what the community thinks is the best direction for it. The overall community, everybody. Now, I am a tad bit worried because, it seems a lot of people aren't even getting the survey, which will lead to problems because the overall community needs to speak. It can't just be the sweats. It can't just be the casuals. It can't just be your everyday average, Joe. It has to be everybody across the board. Everybody needs to be able to put their input into the survey, and we get an overall opinion from the community because the Call of Duty community isn't small. It's a lot of people within this community. And I'm worried because, I haven't seen anything. A lot of people I've talked to haven't seen anything. It seems like, and honestly, like I said, you guys go down in the comment section and let me know if you have received the survey for the movement changes, because I don't want to be negative here, but it's 95%. I'm 95% sure that we have not received anything at all. But of course, until I get the survey, I'm just going to list my personal opinion on how I think we could personally improve the movement within this game and how I would personally fill out this overall survey. Again, I've always been very realistic when it comes to the movement within Modern Warfare 2. I'm not one of those people who want to, be able to 50 B hops because that's just unrealistic with how Call of Duty used to be. I'm not going to be, saying, oh, basically how Jetpack COD played is how every Call of Duty in the past used to play. No, I like how it is in Modern Warfare 2. I like that I can have my B-hop, just like how back in the day you had like one B-hop until you completely ran out of stamina, then you had to engage, You were able to dolphin dive in certain other Call of Duty games. You could still slide, which they tried to buff it up a bit so you can shoot faster after sliding, but you can't slide cancel to, abuse the mechanic so you can get a speed boost so you can get to locations faster than other players, you know what I'm saying? It's old school movement, but it lacks everything else. The way that I would change it is keep how it is, because I like the OG vibes. Like I said, it makes me think of games like Black Ops 2, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, where, like I said, you have your one B-hop, but realistically in those games, you did rely off of strafing, you did rely off of other things because you were allowed to move faster. Across the board, I would say everything is way too slow. There is not a single thing in Modern Warfare 2, personally, that I think is just right or, perfect. Everything is either slow or too slow. Slide speed, transition time, slow. Mantling, slow. Climbing, slow. Sprint to fire, slow. Strafing, slow. Shooting while jumping, after jumping, bunny hopping, slow. Stance transition, slow. Walk and sprint, slow. Tactical sprint, slow. You get the point. Everything is slow in this game. I truthfully think that that's where the community is split right now, because there's two sides of movement in Call of Duty, two sides of the movement community. People who want to see these things change, the things that will, like I said, realistically fix the game, like things like strafing speeds, sprint to fire speeds, mantling, climbing, all that stuff. And then there's other people who want Jetpack COD back, but claiming that Jetpack COD is how COD has always been back in the day. And that is how we're split up right now. But I'm sorry to say, you can't expect anything more than what we got in this, this survey right here. This is exactly what we need to improve, and that is it. We don't need to be able to B-hop 50 times, I don't need to be able to slide cancel to get to my objective faster. I'm perfectly fine with how it is right now, just like OG COD. But we need to be able to improve things like we used to be able to back in the day. We used to have perks to be able to help us do stuff. Attachments that helped us do stuff. I mean, shoot, for the love of God, all the attachments in this game ruin your weapons. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but I'm going to mention it again. The Gunsmith and X-Defiant, there truthfully is not many builds that ruin your overall playstyle. I could put on anything on my weapons. The majority of my weapons, I have strafe movement speed maxed out. Yet and still, the recoil is outstanding. The damage range is outstanding. Everything is still really solid. It's not amazing because clearly, it has to be some balancing purposes, but it's not the end of all worlds like it is in Modern Warfare 2. If I were to deck out a gun in Modern Warfare 2 for strafing speeds, I would not be able to hit a target, that's further than reaching distance. It's an embarrassment. It's an arcade arena shooter, and we're taking it to that level? Like I said, everything is too slow, and all of this stuff needs to be buffed up. Not drastically. Like I said, we don't need any jetpack shooters, but it definitely needs to be back to what OG COD used to be. I understand the tactical vibes they're trying to push out here, and yeah, that's fine, because Call of Duty has always been tactical. That's always what Infinity Ward style is. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, we're all tactical. Tactical style, but very cool. Fun. Arena shooters. They're not like Rainbow Six Siege or any of that other stuff. Any tac shooters like Insurgency Sandstorm. It's an arena shooter. But they have that tactical style, the cool-ass night vision goggles, the decked-out, cool, tactical gear, all that stuff. But you're running around like it's an arcade shooter. Just bring that back. Just bring that back. You don't have to make it Rainbow Six Siege. Just give us the atmosphere and make the gameplay like OG COD, and everybody will more than likely be happy. You don't even have to bring the movement to what X-Defiant is, because X-Defiant is unique in its own way. Its movement is unique in its own way. A lot of people are saying it's like classic COD, but it really isn't. Maybe the gunplay might resemble classic COD, which it does, and some movement mechanics might resemble it, because a lot of OG Call of Duty devs work on this game, and a lot of the hardcore Call of Duty community has been working behind the scenes on this game as well, helping out the developers with design decisions. So clearly it's a lot of Call of Duty inspiration. But the movement is not like OG COD. Comparing Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1 to this game right here, it's a night and day difference between the movement, okay? So it doesn't need to go as far as X-Defiant, but all I'm saying is just listen to us, okay? Make changes based off of what we want to be done. They made changes, but the funny thing about it is that the changes feel like nothing even happened. And you want to know why? They didn't take our feedback when they made the changes. They just made them. They said, okay, let's make them stop bitching, and then they give us random changes. And guess what? The community hasn't stopped bitching because he didn't take our feedback for the changes. This right here is what they need to do. And if this is successful, then, they're not getting any praise here at all, obviously, with all the crap that we had to go through to even get to this point. But it's definitely a step in the right direction if we can start getting communication like this. We need more. We need more communication than just surveys. We want to feel a more, not personal connection. Obviously, we don't want to know your personal life, but like I said, Mark Rubin has been doing a fantastic job. I feel a personal connection with the community. That's what I want, a personal connection with the community, with the game, behind the scenes, the development of the title. I don't need to know your backstory, your history, your family, I'm not trying to come and have dinner with you. I just want to know what's going on with the game, and I want to feel a part of the process. It's that simple. Stop being egotistical assholes and just help out the community. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new, enjoy the content, subscribe to that notification button. Also, on chat with this do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams to video games, do over on Twitch. Link is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.